was one day, but after that day, those courageous conservatives left a message ringing across this country. Can you hear us now? And this was the beginning of a political movement that led to the unified Republican government that we have in office today.
Woo! Yeah.
What allowed this movement to occur was their ability to be heard. And as George Washington once said, it is the freedom of speech. If the freedom of speech is taken away, then dumber and silent we may be led, like sheep to the slaughter. Those who object to the freedom of speech are the ones Washington was talking about. They are the ones using their First Amendment rights to advocate for the erosion of their First Amendment rights. And regardless of where you fall on this particular issue or where you fall on the political spectrum, please recognize this. It is because of courageous defenders of our liberty that everyone,
say what up to my
liberals,
live stream.
conservatives,
Wow, rally's
whatever
going
Antifa
awesome.
is,
I love this
everyone
stuff.
has the right to speak freely
Who got
in
the
this
bigger
country.
rally, by the way?
We did?
By far.
And you know what?
We have
As
Cantwell,
Americans,
that's what we have. We have Cantwell, we have Baked, we've got the
every
real
political
people.
issue
We got the
in
fun
book.
We
people.
got the best stuff, exactly.
Yeah.
We have Irma who's coming up.
Yep.
Knowing in our
Yes.
minds
The other rally,
and
it
believing
was
in our
sad.
hearts
Barely anyone showed
that
up.
we
Bunch
live
of
in the
losers.
greatest
Why would you want to
country
go
the world has
listen
ever
to a
known.
bunch of freaks? Like Roger Stone and Mike Stone, like,
I don't know, man.
yeah. You want the
Our
best
nation
people.
is great, not just
Hell yeah.
to the rights that we
All right,
have,
thanks
but
for
the
being out here,
freedom
guys.
we have to stand
Thanks,
up
man.
for. America is great not just due to the freedoms we have, but the courageous defenders of liberty eager to uphold them. And America is great not just due to the founding principles that have built this country, but the principles of liberty that continue to protect the individual today. And America is great because we have the right to speak up about what is not. We cannot surrender
Stay around.
our right to free speech
Thumbs
for
up
the
this
sake
video.
of political correctness, and we must do more to manifest this commitment.
Did you find someone to film? Hell yeah.
We've seen this commitment from the American people in many ways. But most recently, this past November, when the American electorate faced what Ronald Reagan would call a time for choosing. We had to choose if we wanted to continue down the path of increasing the power of the federal government and its overreach into the lives of citizens.
Yes.
We had to choose if we wanted to continue the erosion of the Constitution and the idea of a constitutionally limited government. And we had to choose if we wanted more of the same
Thank you, Irma,
political
for
rhetoric
standing up for us
that has
all.
failed the American people time and time
Yeah,
again.
Irma's great.
And the American people spoke up
She's
and
about to
said
speak
our
too,
answer
so
is
don't go
no,
anywhere.
enough is enough, and we elected a president that will not sacrifice free speech for the sake of political correctness.
Woo!
But electing Donald Trump our president is not the victory of our fight to reclaim our country, but it simply gave us the opportunity to
Augustus
fight to
Invictus.
reclaim our country.
This guy's
And earning that victory, that responsibility,
Yeah. So,
now lies in the hands of President Trump,
yeah.
So I was back there
members
in
of
the crowd
Congress, all
watching.
Yeah,
other
thank
elected
you.
officials
No,
from the American
you had a
people
great speech as well.
collectively. And it is my hope for the
I've heard a
future
lot about you.
that my generation would come to the realization that we must defend our constitutional rights for our future.
Cock and walk, baby.
We must come to the realization that every slight infringement upon our right to free speech can ultimately lead to its diminishment. We must come to the realization that this country will soon be ours, and we must rise to the occasion and preserve all that is great about America and change what is not. However, we've all heard the stereotype of millennial. What is it? What's the stereotype of millennial? They're lazy, they're arrogant, and they're liberal. And you know what? That cycle is exacerbated by the liberal indoctrination that's seen in academic institutions across the nation. That cycle is exacerbated by liberal bullying that is seen on college campuses across this nation. College administrators tend to be liberal. College professors tend to be liberal. College students tend to be liberal. And colleges and universities tend to be liberal. And we also think of college students as having the tendency, the internal craving to be rebellious. And some people respond by doing drugs or drinking alcohol or committing crimes to be rebellious.
Kessler, nice to meet
But
you.
in 2017, the most effective way to be rebellious as a college student is to stand for liberty.
Yeah.
A great way to be a rebel in college is to stand for common sense. The most effective way to be a rebel in college is to stand for the United States of America and the best interests of her people.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, from one concerned American to another, we cannot give up on our fight to preserve our Constitution and all that is great about America. We have a coming generation of young Americans that deserve the same rights and opportunities that we have. We have a government that must be reminded to act within the will of the people and the bounds of the Constitution. We have a nation which, in the words of Jefferson, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we have a Creator overseeing all of this. And due to our venue this afternoon, I'd also like to mention the words of Lincoln, who was one of the greatest defenders of liberty in our nation's history. His loyalty to liberty was displayed when he said, "Don't interfere with anything in the Constitution. It must be maintained, for it is the only safeguard of our liberty. And not to Democrats alone do I make this appeal, but to all who love these great and true principles."
How are the memes today?
Ladies and gentlemen,
I don't
am a
know.
Christian,
I have not been on Twitter, but
conservative
I
Republican.
expect the memes to
That's
be
who
rare
I am,
and authentic.
and that's what I believe.
And we're
But regardless or
gonna
not,
party after
regardless
this.
of whether
So
or not
all the
I agree
thoughts,
with what you say,
all the traditional
I will
thoughts,
fight
trad
for the rest
thought
of my
life.
Trad
life.
thoughts come
That's what I
through.
have to say. And
We'll
I
see you
ask
soon.
that everyone in
Come to
attendance today and everyone across this nation be prepared to join that fight.
Oh yeah. What's up, guys? Sorry, I didn't want to be too loud there. What's up, dude?
What's up, my friend?
What's your shirt
CNN
say?
is ISIS.
Oh, hell yeah.
As bad as that looks.
CNN is ISIS. What's
Shoot
up,
the
dude?
boot here.
Shoot the boot.
How you doing, my friend? Everything's
Good.
great?
Yeah, doing good.
A lot on education on the other side.
Yeah.
A lot of misery.
A lot of misery. Are they, so they're over here?
Yeah, they said they wanted to protect each other and go home in
Oh,
groups.
I'm gonna go check them out. So, what's up, fam? What's up? What's up? What's up, Bake the Raska? What's up, Sam? It's good to be back. Holy shit, good to be back. Sorry, guys. What's up? Sorry I took a little break there. So, a lot has happened. Wow. A lot has happened. What's up, Robert? So, a couple things happened. First, I got suspended from Twitter. So, I haven't been able to be on Twitter. Other thing, Tony, yeah. So, there's some protesters over here. Hell yeah. Inner Heaven Gang Gang. We got some, let me show you. We're at the Lincoln Memorial.
Drugs are illegal for a reason.
Nursing is illegal. This is a country of immigrants.
Well, hang on a
You don't
second.
like America's diversity? Go back to Europe.
We're a nation of laws, you losers.
All right, so what's up, dudes? So Irma's about to speak. I'll get that in a second. But yeah, I got banned from Twitter. We're back, or not? We're not back on Twitter. I'm back here on YouTube. Good to see you guys. What's up, dude?
Good job, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Say hi to YouTube.
Hey, YouTube. Love you guys.
Why are you guys out here?
Oh, I am out here because I love my fellow Trumpkins. Hey,
Hell
follow
yeah.
me on Instagram, Henry_Layman.
Hell yeah.
Follow me at Marwana.tv.
Shot a lay, my dudes.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Just joking around here. Lots of jokes. Lots of jokesters. But for real, so yeah, everyone's been asking about Tony, and thank you so much. So if you guys don't know, my bodyguard, Tony, who you know from the streams, he was, I'll tell you why no streams. So Tony, he was in a bad accident. He was stabbed actually 9 times. So I've been at the hospital with him pretty much every day. I said I was going to, and we're here at the beautiful Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Memorial here. So I said I was going to be streaming the first time I went to go see Tony. But to be honest, I didn't know how bad of condition he was in. I didn't know, you know, I thought this might just be a minor flesh wound or something, but it was really, really terrible and terrifying. So I decided it would not be appropriate to be taking advantage of that. And he was in so much pain, he could barely talk for the first few days. And he had to have a tube put in his lung, and it was just heartbreaking. It was really heartbreaking. He's got 9 stab wounds, punctured lung. Yeah, it was really hard. And I just want to say thank you guys so much. You guys have been, your prayers, your thoughts, your just tweets, everything has been so amazing, guys. Like, seriously. What's up, Nino Brown? Hey, I'm in DC. Hell yeah. Love you too, fam. Love you too. So yeah, accident. So that's the thing. We don't really know. People are saying, oh, it was racial, it wasn't racial. What I do know, or political, here's what I know. I know that he was at a Trump rally. When he left the Trump rally, he went to a bar with Bass Stickman. After he went out, shout out Death Tank. Yeah, he's one of the toughest guys I know, exactly. Yes, I will wish Tony well from you guys. But after he went to the Trump rally, he went to a bar with Bass Stickman. I was supposed to meet them there, but I didn't end up hearing from them. And next thing I know, he 2 days later, actually, he calls me from the hospital. So that's the crazy thing. Moist. That's one of the crazy things, is that he was attacked and Thank you. So yeah, he was attacked, and I didn't even know he was in the hospital until 2 days later. You guys hear about that?
No.
Yeah, my bodyguard got stabbed.
Oh, that's terrible.
Like 9 times. You didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't.
You baked Alaska?
Yeah, I'm baked Alaska.
Yeah, baked Alaska. Everyone knows baked Alaska.
Everyone knows baked Alaska, right? Hey, what's up? What's up, dudes? Who's that?
Hey, that's my wife.
Hey, what's up, wife? Hey, what's up? Hi, I'm Tim.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
say hi to YouTube.
YouTube famous.
Hi, everyone.
Hell yeah. Ты говоришь по-русски?
Yeah, she does.
Да, я говорю. И по-украински тоже.
Хорошо. Я говорю по-русски чуть-чуть, только чуть-чуть.
Ну, я тебя понимаю.
Only a little bit.
We all do. We're all spies.
Yeah, I'm a Russian spy, if you guys didn't know. So
listen, can I ask you a favor?
Sure. What's up?
I want to plug something on in front of all your viewers.
Yeah, do it.
Okay?
Let's do it.
So it's about exactly what you're talking about.
Cool.
How you guys get, we get attacked constantly.
Yeah.
So there's a new nonprofit just got formed.
Cool.
It's called Dauntless USA.
Yeah.
And it's anyone who is able and willing to stand up and be a shield between Americans expressing their patriotic, constitutional rights, and the guys that were over here earlier, in black. So
Antifa.
Exactly, Antifa. So no political ideology behind it. It's everybody.
They're getting helicopter rides. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
They're getting helicopter rides. Okay, cool. So how can people follow you?
Yeah. Would you mind? It's starting in on July the 4th. Flip it around to see the. Yeah. Thanks. Starts on July 4th, and even if you don't want to do it, maybe your parents or grandparents, some older boomers who might not be out in the field, but they want to supply some equipment.
Hell yeah.
And stuff like that, because that's what we're looking. We're going to get them out with flags like this.
Hell yeah.
Shields.
Wait, that flag looks a little racist, man. I don't know about that flag.
We're almost there. We're almost at that point.
Pretty much. I mean, when you see the other side show up, they show up with like Mexican flags. It's sad.
It is sad.
It's very sad.
Anyway, I don't want to take up your time.
Oh no, you're good. All right, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All right, great meeting you guys. All right, so Irma's speaking. Do you guys want to see a little bit of her speech? Is that cool? Okay, we're gonna go see a little bit of Irma's speech. Then I'll keep talking to you guys. We got so much to talk about. Sorry for the break. What's up, dudes? What's up, my dudes? Say what up to YouTube. Come on, don't be shy. All right. So we have so much to talk about. I have so much to catch up with you. So I'm gonna be streaming and catching you up. But I'm sorry, I had to be. I usually wouldn't do this, but I had to be in the hospital with Tony. So, what's up, Meme Brule? We got a new YouTube admin. So say what up to Meme Brule. Hell yeah. Am I gonna get some boneless pizza with James? Sure. Yeah, me and James are gonna hang out. Oh, Mike Enoch's about to speak.
How about you guys want to chant it?
Mustache Matt is here.
A little bit here.
And make sure to, since I don't have a Twitter, to retweet.
You will not replace us! 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 Blow your brains out!
Got Mr. Bryden Proctor here. What's going on there? We ISIS now.
What? 9-year-old
We're culturally appropriating ISIS now.
My
name's gone too far. Let's see you, buddy. Let's see you. Yeah. Nice speech, man.
Before the recent election, I was very much a middle-of-the-road anarchist, but it seems someone moved the dividing line between the left wing and the right wing in favor of idiots, and now everyone who was not previously far left is alt-right, or at least alt-right.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you so much.
But it's the reality we now live in, and I am a realist. Realism is, after all, romanticism to those who are strong enough to worship things as they are, and I do. I wanted to sit on the fence, but the left pushed me off the fence onto the right's lawn. So now I stand at the front of the phalanx, floating at windmills for the middle ground. Despite the handful of organizations to whom I belong, I'm not here as a representative of any of them. I'm not here to speak for the Proud Boys, no more than I'm here to speak for the OTO, Collegium, Spirit of Sanctum, Astrum Argentinium, the Church of the Subgenius, the Discordian Society, or the Golden Apple Court. I am here as an individual to speak for myself, as is my right by divine providence as a man. My name is Matthew Lyons, and amongst other things, I am a scientific illuminist. I seek after truth with science as my filter, and as science is transcendent of political correctness, so am I. I believe we can all agree that cancer cells are alive, but are they worth more than the lives of the organisms they're a part of? Would they not die with the organism, were they allowed to multiply? You could leave them be, they die and the organism dies with them, or kill them and save the organism. If you would go with the politically correct answer, that is, if you do not believe that the ends justify the means, then you are now the very same cancer to which I refer. I firmly believe that if there were production jobs easily accessible to inner city residents, then the disenfranchised minorities that are trapped in the socioeconomic cycle of poverty would be able to break free of it. Dwelling on the surface of things isn't going to make any progress. We need to look at the source of our problems and work on the treatment of them to cause positive change. I wish prosperity for all of my countrymen, and for that we must all of us stick together. Focusing on differences causes only schisms, discord, and division. To do so, I believe, is counterintuitive and counterproductive. All of them. I firmly believe that by divine providence alone, man has the right to live by his own law, man has the right to eat as he will, man has the right to think as he will, and man has the right to love as he will. Man has the right to kill those who thwart these rights. I believe, I'm sorry.
It's okay, we forgive you.
We love you. It is written in the words of the man himself, Jesus Christ, according to the King James, Matthew 12, verse 30. He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad. Wherein or die. Now I'm sick and tired of the Antifa calling me names, but only one name has come to grow on me as I've researched its etymology. I don't care for its modern meaning as a political ideology or its bastardized postmodern meaning.
Oh wow, thank you. $100 super chat. Holy shit. Lit.
Behind us is the Lincoln Monument.
Dude, YouTube is... Thank you guys.
Really see it from here. Resting under Lincoln's arms are fasces. One set of them under each of his hands.
Thank you.
Fasces are an ancient and primitive symbol in strength through unity, taking the form of rods of birchwood.
Hell yeah.
www.asianarianism.com.
It's a real site?
Yeah, it's my site.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm the Asian Aryan leader, Hill leader.
Hell yeah. Yeah. All right, this is yeah. Woo! 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 Hey! Woo!
Guys like on the track right now. Confusion in our way.
Yeah! Woo! I'm a little confused.
So,
I'm very confused.
I'm another finance and free speech. I guess, yeah, great. We all love it. I'm actually gonna fucking use it.
Oh!
About what I think here. So now, freedom, the Constitution, liberty, it's all good stuff. But let's be honest, what's really facing our country today is systematic elimination of white people. Displacement and genocide of the white race. That is what is facing us. And there's a number of different things that are assisting in this project. Now, some of you might have heard of something. You probably heard this spoken before by college professors, by people in the media. And, you know, we know who those people are. Intellectual class. Oh, my God! This little conspiracy theory, I like to call it a conspiracy theory, called white privilege. Has anybody ever heard of this? You've heard of the conspiracy theory of white privilege, right? What do we think about that? We all know what is behind the conspiracy theory of white privilege. It's anti-white.
Yeah.
It's paving the way for white genocide and the elimination and violence against people of the white race. That is why people talk about white privilege. Now, there's an article in the Jewish Daily Forward, I think last week or the week before, by a Jew talking about the unbearable crime of talking about Jewish privilege. Now, he was very keenly aware of what Jewish privilege meant. When you talk about Jewish privilege, which is objectively provable, we can prove it. Who's in control of the Federal Reserve Bank? Who's in control of the media? Who's in control of our foreign policy? It's Jews. We know that it's Jews. Why do we go to war in the Middle East against our country's interests, against the interests of our race? Because of Jewish control, okay? Let's not fucking beat around the bush. I'm actually using my free speech rights here.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And he was 100% sure that when he hears people talk about Jewish privilege, he knows what that means. Now, he didn't have the consistency, the intellectual honesty to speak up about the lie, the conspiracy theory of white privilege being taught at universities, which is meant to build up a stigma, build up hatred, and potentially pave the way for violence against white people. That is what it's for. And everybody understands that, okay? And now I know there's a lot of other white people around here that aren't part of our thing, that aren't here with us, but I want you to all understand something. When you hear the word diversity, what does the word diversity mean? Anti-white.
Yeah.
When you're white and you work for a corporation or you work for the government or you work for anything, and that institution that you work for decides we're going to institute a diversity policy, if you're white, what does that mean? It means you're next. That's what it means. And you're white and you hear me, you know it's true.
Woo!
You know it's true. Diversity means you're next, white people. Your heads are chopping block.
We're doing this now.
So we're here to stand up for white people. That's why I came out. I mean,
hell yeah.
For the First Amendment rights, that was very nice of you. But I'm going to use it to stand up for white people. So we know white privilege, diversity, these are coded words. These are words that are used against us. They're meant to attack us, demoralize us, and make us not want to stand up for ourselves. But we're done with that. We see through the coded language. We see through the programming. And we're not going to be replaced. This was our country. The Founding Fathers objectively founded this country for white people. It's in our founding documents. And, what other people is expected? There's no other people that I can think of that's expected to open their borders to the entire world, and this is supposed to be a great and noble thing. I mean, we talk a lot about illegal immigration, but let's be honest, legal immigration is part of the problem too.
Yeah!
I mean, who else is supposed to legally be asked to legally and morally displace themselves? What other group of people is asked to do this? There isn't one. No other group is asked to do this, and it's in the United States and it's in Europe. We're being, invaded, we're being colonized, both legally and illegal, and if we don't start seeing ourselves as a group, as a race together that are in this, that are under attack together, we're gonna die. And look, if you're in a war and you generals refuse to send your troops to the actual battlefield where it's actually being fought, if you're fighting for liberty, freedom, the Constitution, and free speech, we're gonna use it. We're not gonna let anybody take it away from us, but the real battle is being fought on the grounds of standing up for white people, because that's what's under attack. And you're not going to have any of these nice liberties and freedoms.
Yeah.
White people are 30%, 20%. All out the window, because these freedoms only exist in white nations.
Woo!
These freedoms are not
Yeah!
in white philosophy. That's where this
Woo!
comes from.
The Goyim know.
Other people want to come and take advantage of it. Believe me, I get it. I get why you'd want to come here. Believe me, I understand. I understand why you'd want to leave where you're from and come here.
but it's not our responsibility that where you're
I think we
from
can
sucks.
keep some honorary.
Sorry,
people.
it's not our problem.
Hopefully I'm
This is our country.
No, you're honorary.
These are our
I just don't hit the cap, dude.
But tell me what fucking rule we broke. Sorry for winning. Sorry.
We're really good at winning.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'm tired of the
But yeah, so that's what it is. The battlefield is on the plane of white identity. That's where we're sending our troops to fight against the enemy that's attacking us there. We're not going to go and be distracted by side things here and side things there. This is about the survival of the white race, the survival of the white nations. And without that, the freedoms that we hold dear, the Constitution, liberty, that's all going to go away. And we all know it. And so that's really all I have. Thanks, everybody. I know it's getting hot.
Thank you.
Long afternoon, but here's Richard.
Yeah!
I really can't tell you how inspired I am by all of you coming out. There has been an awakening, and we've all felt it. There has been a change in our hearts and our minds. The fact is, raise your hand if you are under the age of 30 years old. I absolutely put faith in young people. Young people are not caught in the thought prison of their parents. Indeed, when I meet young people who are coming to the alt-right for the first time over the past 3 months, I am amazed at how serious they are. I'm amazed at how inspired they are. I'm amazed at how radical they are. So thank all of you.
Woo!
And please give a big round of applause to Colton, who did this. Colton is 19 years old. Colton is 19 and he set up this rally. He invited all of these great people. Colton also, when these losers and freaks who are having some other, oh, we're a bunch of liars rally, when they went against him, when they tried to shut down this rally, when they tried to ruin it, he said, fuck you. If every white American had the balls of Colton, this battle would already have been won. So thank you, Colton. So let's talk about free speech. What does free speech mean when we have nothing to say?
Absolutely nothing.
In the current year, we have been disintegrated into 140 characters, into an Instagram filter, into your favorite unboxing video YouTube artist. Free speech, for people who don't really believe in it, effectively means arguments over one's favorite shampoo. Arguments over tax rates, where some radical libertarian might ask for 20% while the socialists ask for 40%. Free speech means nothing when one has nothing to say. Free speech is only meaningful. The rubber only hits the road when you say something that matters, when you say something that's powerful, when you say something that threatens the system, when you say something that's radically truthful, when you say something that shatters the lies, that shatters those in power. That is the time when free speech really matters. And that is why we are here today.
Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Hell yeah.
The fact is, there's something a bit self-congratulatory when we talk about free speech. I would imagine if you interviewed every single American, at least 99% would say, yeah, I support free speech. Oh yeah, I support free speech, yeah. So you have your right to your opinion, man. Yeah, you have your right to your opinion. We don't have some Stalin-like figure sitting up in a room somewhere, twirling his mustache and slashing out newspaper headlines or putting a revolver to the head of a journalist and telling him what to write. We don't live in that world. That world is very easy to criticize, that caricature of communism or fascism. That world is very easy to criticize precisely because we don't live in it. We face a very different challenge. On the one hand, we do face something like that repressive dictator of folklore, but we don't actually face it in terms of the government. We face it in terms of Silicon Valley. We face it in terms of the Zuck, not so much in terms of Uncle Joe. We face it in terms of digital platforms that are kicking us off. We face it in terms of social networks that are suppressing free expression. And we also face it in terms of shrill little girls who try to attack art. But that's not ultimately the real challenge. The real challenge is within ourselves. We are the ultimate censors of free speech. We aren't willing to be honest even when we're alone. There is a black cloud that hangs over whites around the world. You can call that black cloud whatever you want, white guilt. You could call it the legacy of slavery. You could call it the Holocaust. You could call it fascism. You could call it systematic racism. You could use whatever terminology you want. But we have a black cloud that hangs over us. This sense of guilt, this sense that we cannot be truthful even when we're talking to ourselves. The sense we can't be truthful when we're talking to our friends and family. And certainly we can't be truthful when we speak in public. That Stalin, that repressive dictator is ultimately the person in our mind. The person telling us not to speak. The person stamping out the truth. The person destroying who we are. The most radical thing one can say in public is not stop the war, although I might actually agree with people who say stop the war, by the way.
Yeah. Stop the war.
But those people aren't being kicked off Twitter. The most radical thing one could say is not feed the poor, although I might also agree with that sentiment.
Woo!
Feed the poor.
Yeah. Feed the poor.
Those people aren't being viciously attacked by the gutter punks who call themselves Antifa.
Fuck Antifa!
Yeah.
Antifa,
Fuck
trash.
Antifa. Yeah.
Fucking pussy.
The most radical thing anyone could say, and I guess for you young people, if you really want to shock your liberal boomer parents, the most radical thing fun to say is, I am white. My life has meaning. My life has dignity. I am part of a family. I will fight for my children's future. That's why we're going to say it. I was actually reading a little bit about the Magna Carta this past week, and many Americans will look back upon the Magna Carta as if it's the Declaration of Independence written in Middle English, that it has claims for free speech for all and God-given rights and equality and global unity and all that stuff. That is a total myth. That document, which is looked upon rightly in many ways as a foundation of our liberties, is a bit of a myth. It was actually annulled a few days after it was enacted. The Magna Carta also includes a couple of lines that might very well be considered hate speech in the current year. The Magna Carta might be a myth, but it actually teaches something it teaches us something about the nature of free speech and the nature of reality. The Magna Carta was not a universal document. No one believed that free speech is granted to you by God. Indeed, God's representative on earth annulled the document. The Magna Carta was an expression of rebellious barons who, through unity, achieved power and took their rights from King John. In this way, our right to speak is intrinsically linked with our ability to be powerful, with our ability to stand for ourselves, stand for others. No free